Hi there, I'm Stella from Stella's Yarn Universe, and in this tutorial I show you how to crochet this little ice cream cone. If you prefer to work with the written pattern, or if you like to use it to accompany this tutorial, you can find it on my blog. I link to it in the description below. So for this little project we need yarn in a DK or light worsted weight, and I like to use 100% cotton yarn. This time I'm using Paint Box DK cotton yarn. I'll link to it in the description in case you like to use the same. And we need a color for the ice cream cone, and then 3 different colors for the scoops, whichever flavors you might want to make. I'm just going for the classics, vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. Although the vanilla it's almost too white for vanilla. I don't know. Maybe it's coconut. I love coconut, so that works for me. And then I'm using a 1.75 millimeter hook. You can also use a 2.5 millimeter or a size B1 if you prefer. I just like it to be as small as possible, so I'm using the smaller hook size. Then we need a yarn needle, scissors, stitch marker if you need one, and some fiber fill. So this is going to be our ice cream cone. It's one of those super delicious ice cream cones that are rolled like this. And that's why we just need to crochet a circle. My circle actually looks more like a hexagon. That's just because I increased always in the same spot. But I don't really mind for this project because it's going to get rolled into a cone anyway. So grab your cone colored yarn, and then we will begin with the magic ring. If you need a more detailed tutorial on how to make a magic ring, I'll link to it in the upper right corner. And then we start with 6 single crochet in the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull the end tight. I don't pull it super tight in the beginning because I find that it makes crocheting into the first stitch very hard. So I'll pull it tighter after finishing the second round. So insert your hook in the first stitch and then we increase. So we single crochet 1 and another one in the first stitch. So that's increase number 1, and then we continue this with the other 5 stitches. So we increase in all 6 stitches of the round. So by the end of the round we have 12 stitches. So now in round 3 we keep increasing, so single crochet in the next and then increase in the next. 1 and 2 in the next, and again single crochet in the next and increase in the next, and we repeat this 6 times. So by the end of the round we have 18 stitches. Now that's round 3 complete, and I'm going to place my stitch marker in the last stitch because I'm really bad at counting. So in the next round we single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and then increase in every third. So by the end of the round, we have 24 stitches. So round number 4 is complete now. So we have a round of 24 stitches, and in the next round we're going to increase in every 4th stitch. So we single crochet in the next 3 and then increase in the 4th stitch, and we repeat this 6 times so that by the end of the round we'll have 30 stitches. I'm not going to bore you with every single round of this circle because you already know what we're doing. We just keep increasing by 6 in every single round until we have a round of 66 stitches. So in round 5, the next round, you will increase in every 4th stitch. In round number 6, you increase in every 5th. In round number 7, you increase in every 6th, and so on until you completed round 11, in which you increase in every 10th stitch, so that you'll have a round of 66 stitches. And then you just finish with a slip stitch and fasten off. So now you have a circle for your ice cream cone as well. But for now, we're going to set it aside and continue with the scoop that you want to go in the bottom, that you want to go into the cone first. So for me, that's going to be chocolate, because I always save the best for last. And the bottom one is just going to be a tiny sphere. So once again, we start with the magic ring. And as we did before, we begin with 6 single crochet into the magic ring. Then in round number 2, we increase in all 6 stitches. I just loosened the first stitch up with my yarn needle because it was really tight and difficult to crochet. So that's 2 single crochet in the first, and we repeat this 5 more times. 1 and 2 in the same, and 1, 2 in the next. That's round number 2 complete. So we have 12 stitches now, and now we can close the ring. That's it. Now in round 3, as we did before, we single crochet in the next and then increase in the next. So we increase in every other stitch. Now round 3 is complete, so we have a round of 18 stitches, and in the next round we single crochet in the next 2, 1 and 2, and then increase in every 3rd stitch. 1 and 2 in the same. And once again, we repeat this 6 times. So by the end of the round, we have 24 stitches. That's round number 4 complete. So we have a round of 24 stitches now. And in the next 4 rounds, round 5 to 8, we will single crochet in all of these 24 stitches. So you can pause the video here and hit play once you completed round 8. So this is round 8 complete, and in the next round we can start to decrease. So we single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then we make an invisible decrease. If you haven't done an invisible decrease with single crochet before, you can have a look at my tutorial in the upper right corner, where I show you how to do it in detail and with brighter yarn, so you can better see what I'm doing. So we repeat this 5 more times. Single crochet in the next 2 and then decrease. Now 4 more times, so by the end of the round we have 18 stitches. That's round number 9 complete. In round number 10 we single crochet in the next stitch and decrease after every single crochet. So single crochet in the next and then decrease. And once again we repeat this 6 times in total. So by the end of the round we have 12 stitches. That's round number 10 complete. So now it's time to stuff our scoop with fiber fill. So I'm just pulling the yarn out a bit so I don't lose my stitch, and the magic ring end just goes in here. And then I just take some fiber fill and try to squish it into a little ball so I can push it in with the back of my hook. And then just repeat this until your scoop is nice and full, generously stuffed with fiber fill. So once your scoop is nicely filled, we can continue with the last round. So in the last round we only do decreases. So we decrease 6 times so that we have a round of 6 once completed. Try not to crochet in any of the fibers of the filling. That's 2. Three. 4. 5. And 6. So then we can just cut the yarn, put it through, and now we can fasten off. And I have a little tutorial in which I link to in the upper right corner on how to fasten off small rounds like this, just in case you haven't done this before and it's hard to see with this yarn. But Basically what I'm doing is just inserting my yarn needle in the front loops of all of these 6 stitches. So I'm just stitch the yarn end through all 6 front loops. 4, 5, and 6, and then just pull it tight, and then I insert my needle in the middle of this last round, and I just let it get out somewhere. Just pull it tight. And then I just weave in the yarn end. So that's our bottom scoop done. And now we continue with the 2 scoops that go on top of this one. So that's how they look. So start with one of the other colors that you selected for the scoops. And once again, we begin with a magic ring. And 6 single crochet into the magic ring. That's 6. Then pull the end, but not completely tight. Just gonna loosen up the first stitch again. Then, like we did with the other scoop, increase in all 6 stitches. So single crochet 2 into all 6 stitches. That's round number 2 complete. Pull the magic ring in tight. And in round 3, once again, we increase in every other stitch. So we single crochet in the next stitch and increase in the next. 6 times until the round is complete. Single crochet and increase. So by the end of the round, we'll have 18 stitches. That's round 3 complete, and in round 4 we increase in every 3rd stitch. So single crochet in the next 2, and then increase in every 3rd. So by the end of the round we have 24 stitches. That's round number 4 complete, and now for the next 3 rounds, round 5 to 7, we single crochet in all 24 stitches. So once again, you can pause the video here and hit play once you completed round 7. That's round number 7 complete, and now in the last round we create the melting ice cream that's starting to run down. So we single crochet in the next 2, and then we make a decrease. From here we chain 1 and then we make a double crochet in the next stitch, then a half double crochet in the next, oops, and a decrease. Then we just single crochet 2 in the next 2 stitches and make another decrease. Now we slip stitch in the next stitch, then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and triple crochet in the same stitch. So yarn over twice, and then pick up the yarn, put it through the first 2 loops, again pick it up, pull it through the next 2 loops, and pick it up and pull it through the 2 remaining loops. Then chain 3 again and slip stitch in the next stitch. Then decrease, single crochet 2, 1 and 2, decrease, then slip stitch in the next, chain 2, double crochet in the same stitch, oops, almost lost my stitch there, then chain 2 and slip stitch in the next. Then we decrease. And now we finish with a slip stitch. Then we leave a long end, long tail for sewing. Just pull that through, and then we finish with an invisible finish. So thread the end onto your yarn needle. So we skip the next stitch and then insert our needle in the next stitch next to it from the outside inwards, and then we insert our needle in between the front and back loop of the slip stitch we made. So this way we have a nice and neat invisible finish. So now we can assemble our little ice cream cone. I just cut a long piece of yarn in the cone color, and at the end I just made a knot and I threaded it, the other end, onto my yarn needle. So this end over the last round that doesn't look too good is going to go inside, and then we'll just fold the other side over to shape a cone like so. So this is going to be the pointy bottom part. So that's just where I'm going to stitch through from the wrong side outwards to the right side. So now we can start sewing. And I'm just going to take the bottom scoop just to see how wide the cone should be. So that's about the size it should be. I'd keep it there for now as a placeholder, but I'm going to remove it and fill the cone with fiber fill before I sew it into the cone. And I'm just trying to follow the pattern so that the seam won't be too obvious. So I just stitched through the front loop there, and then I just skip one stitch and stitch through the next stitch, just to follow the pattern and not make it too obvious where I've sewn the cone together. So then I need to stitch through this layer, and then again through to the top. So a needle with a bent tip is helpful for things like this, where you need to sew two layers together. So now we can fill the cone with a little fiber fill before we put in the bottom scoop and then sew this one on. Let's see. I think this should be enough already. Yeah, it shouldn't be more because we don't want it to show. Just before I put in the bottom scoop, I just stitch through to the top layer again. And now this scoop can go in. So now we're going to sew on the scoop. Sew it onto the cone. So I'm just going to stitch through a few times from different directions. All through to the other side. Now I've stitched through the scoop and the cone quite a few times, so it's firmly attached now. Then I've just woven in the end, so I can cut that off now. So now we can attach the next scoop. So I'm just going to thread the end onto my yarn needle and fill the scoop with a little fiber fill. So decide where you would like the ice cream to melt and run down, and then pin it into position. You can put yours straight on top if you like, but I put it on slightly tilted because the next one I want to go in the other direction, like so. And I'm not going to attach it the traditional way, like we usually sew amigurumi pieces together, because I don't want any seam to show. I don't want the pink seam to show on the brown. So I just stitch through and then I just go back through to the top layer. So I only sew onto the pink with my pink yarn. That's scoop number 2 attached, so now we go for scoop number 3. And here's our little ice cream cone. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, feel free to give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel and to click the little bell if you'd like to receive notifications of new video tutorials like this one. Thank you so much for crocheting along with me. Happy creating!